The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes was probably the Hunger Games' greatest film due to its content, which it saved itself from by sticking to a story, just sticking to a story. I don't know what else to say right now. I just finished the film, 2.5 hours of just pure, good action. I haven't seen an action film this intriguing, PG-13 no less, in so long since maybe Mad Max Fury Road, and that's a really hot take, but that's just my honest opinion. It's an origin story that has a lot more in it than you would expect from the Lionsgate Hunger Games franchise. The film basically follows what had been President Snow. He is young now, and he is mentoring for the 10th annual Hunger Games. The Hunger Games on the line because of the viewership. The whole film is basically whether or not he can get it done. At the same time, multiple things happen in the film, which includes different plots, including his family and the girl he has to mentor. I don't know how coherent I'm going to be in this explaining my review, but I'm hoping that I can be coherent enough to where I'm not boring. The problem with films nowadays is that there just isn't that many Hollywood films with big budgets and big sets. This film is the ideal Hollywood modern blockbuster film that you would want to see over the summer or whenever it had been released. I think it got released last autumn. I haven't been too caught up. I watched it because my family was renting it. The violence pushes the PG-13 rating, I'd say, just a little bit. I'm honestly surprised and impressed that they got to maintain the PG-13 rating. I would have expected it potentially to be rated R for terror. Luckily, they didn't delve too into the violence and focused a lot on the story. Noticing a lot of new films, they have been capitalizing on storytelling. Even though I haven't seen The Nun 2, I heard that The Nun 2 tries to be more story-oriented than the first film. I'm pretty sure that just has been a theme running along in these newer films. Saw X, which was kind of like the legacy sequel to the Saw franchise. I don't know, I'm trying to think. Scream kind of sucks, honestly, because the new Scream films are pretty mid. But the thing that makes this film so great compared to other films that are made nowadays, because of the direction that it stuck with. They had a direction, of course, just like any other film, but this film, it felt like it was being taken care of, and it felt like they were trying to make something super precious out of it. And it felt very resonative of the book. I have not read the book. I assume that it is really, really close to the book, seeing how well of a film it was. Unless a lot of the direction was new, then good for them. My knowledge on the Hunger Games film was, when I first got into PG-13 action films, Hunger Games was one of the first, as a kid, I got to watch. I remember reading the books on my Kindle Fire as a kid, listening to Pandora while reading the books, and those are honestly some really fond memories. But I also enjoyed the films a lot, but I never did I expect the fourth film to be as good as it actually was. Basically, this whole film is about Snow's origin and just everything in the history of that film series to get to where we are in the modern times, and adds layers to his relationship with Katniss Everdeen, which I never would have expected, honestly. And then the rest of my video, it's going to have a little bit of spoilers, so I'm just going to put a little warning up. I'm going to mention basically the ending. When I watched the film, I didn't know that there was going to be a iffy scene towards the end where people were going to be unsure on what was real and what wasn't. Basically, he got bit by a snake that the girl protagonist had put in the shawl. Towards the end of the film, they try to imply that there was a chance that he may have killed her. Honestly, not going to unveil too much. You got to watch the film. I do think that you have to watch it, get the full experience instead of hearing it from me. Long story short, he gets bit by the snake, and the whole question of it is whether or not he's hallucinating. After he gets bit, he looks for her, but he ends up seeing something and shoots at it, and you hear a collapse, but then he looks and the body's not there, and the whole thing is, yeah, where did she go and what next? Moving on with his life. It's left kind of open-ended. I like the themes in the film, the particular themes on what the Hunger Games stands for. I thought that was really creative and smart. I thought about it in those ways, but I didn't put them side by side, you know what I mean? I understood that those were kind of some of the messages in the film, but I didn't, yeah. Putting it side by side, it makes things so much more cooler, honestly. In my personal opinion, towards the end of the film, she ended up leaving him after realizing basically what kind of a cold-hearted person he is, after witnessing him kill this one person, I think that made her finally come with a decision to leave him alone and just go their separate ways. Some people might say that he killed her and maybe dumped her body in the lake, or others might say that he's just hallucinating the whole thing. I think part of it was hallucinating and the other part wasn't, but I think it was more hallucinatory, if anything. I don't think he actually murdered her, but I mean, who knows, maybe he blacked out or something and forgot that he did, or but personally I think that she moved on with her life. Just wanted to make this quick video because I hate my life and I don't know what to do right now. It's like night and I'm stalling for time. I gotta do my homework and it's really giving me a lot of anxiety, so I'm gonna edit this video and see what's up. Maybe I don't have to worry as much as I think I am, but yeah. At the end of the day, I'm going to give this a 7.5 out of 10, which is being very generous of me because I generally give action films a 6 out of 10. And the reason I give it a 7.5 is because of the elaborate storytelling they were able to accomplish, just due to the mere fact that they succeeded in making a Hunger Games sequel. Every Hunger Games film has kind of had its own direction, but at the same time, Mockingjay Part 1 and 2 did take a small dive in quality. I will say that The Hanging Tree was the biggest highlight in Mockingjay Part 1 and 2, and also when Snow's downfall in Part 2. Now, yeah, I mean, can't give it anything higher, only because it wowed me, but just personally, I can't see myself rewatching this film over and over and over again. That's like an 8 out of 10 for me. If you want to see another movie review, just let me know, and yeah.